I'm Lydia, I'm 19, and I'm a high school dropout. I got really sick when I was 14, and, well, let me tell you about it. So, this is so awkward, I don't know what to, do. Usually when I make videos, my siblings are with me. So when I was 14, so 14 is like high school, right? Freshman year. It's all exciting and everything. So yeah, I was excited, freshman year. I woke up one morning in September, late September, and I was really dizzy and I was really dizzy and my ears were ringing. Sometimes it happens, so we just thought keep going, it'll wear off. I lived close enough to my school that I could walk, so I did. But when I got there, I tripped on a curb that was like this high. And I tried to unlock my locker. That's a mouthful. But I couldn't focus on I eventually got it. It took me longer than it should have, but so that happened. And then I got into my first period class, which was a block period, so we had a break between the two periods. I had a really hard time focusing on the board. If it's when you're dizzy, you have a hard time focusing on things. And my friend had kind of noticed that I wasn't really all with it, and she was like, "You okay?" I think so. That break between periods rolls around, and I was like, "No, I'm not. I need to go to the nurse." And she was like, "Okay." So she was talking to the teacher, and she walked me down. But on the way there, I couldn't walk in a straight line. I've never been so dizzy, and I was just really hoping that it would just wear off. So I got to the nurse, talked to her. She had me go lay in the whatever, I don't know, the nurse's office. They have beds, so she's like, "Okay, do you want to just go take a rest?" I was like, "Sure." So when she came back to check on me, I had a really hard time focusing on her, and you know that you ever push on, close one eye, push on the other one, and it's makes things move? That's what she looked like, and she was like, "Something is not right." So she called my mom, and my mom came in, and she saw the same, when I looked at my mom, she was doing the thing too, and she was like, it was weird. And then they explained to me later that my eyes looked like they were doing this, which is called nystagmus, and that is not a good thing. So, I went home that afternoon. And slept. So that was September. By December, I was out of school and going on homebound, just before Christmas. So those episodes kept it kept happening, and I was going to school less and less, and then December came and I was not in school at all. But homebound is your teachers gather work that you're missing in school because you're out of school, and they bring it to you at your house, and they kind of they teach you or whatever if it's a subject that they know. I was taking German, and she couldn't teach me German. Come April, I was failing German, and I was failing my math class. But so I ended up withdrawing. So I have fatigue. I was having more body aches, brain fog. That still affects me today. And we're like, what's happening? What's going on? I woke up I went to bed one night and woke up the next morning things were just completely different. As time was going on, my symptoms are getting worse and worse, and we're going to doctors. We're going to all kinds of doctors. We went to rheumatology, we went to infectious disease, we had the whole list of specialists. August of 2016, I was diagnosed with chronic Lyme disease and postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Or POTS for short. So POTS is a dysfunction in your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system is the part of you that tells your heart to beat, your lungs to breathe, all those things without you having to think about it. You breathe, right? You don't have to think about that. It just automatically happens. The dysfunction in my nervous system had to do with my pulse and my blood pressure. So when you stand up, it's normal for your heart rate to increase a little bit and your blood pressure to go down while it regulates. Mine, it was irregular. It didn't. So I would stand up and I'd go from like sitting like this to standing, and my heart rate would be 150 beats per minute. My blood pressure would be low, and my pulse would be like way up there, and it was really uncomfortable. So POTS, and the other fun thing with having low blood pressure is that your blood, so gravity affects everything, right? So when you have low blood pressure, it's not like going how it's supposed to. It starts to pool. So my legs would turn purple. Like I'm not even kidding. They would turn purple just from all the blood down there. So I'd have to like lay down, and it would help regulate everything again, having your heart even with like your lower extremities. Dizziness and lightheadedness, fainting were symptoms of POTS too. So this is right. So August of 20, like within a week of each other, I got diagnosed with those two things. A lot of people don't realize that Lyme can be chronic. You can have it for years and years and years and not even realize it. Time to talk about treatments. So after searching for a diagnosis, a proper, correct diagnosis, it was time to start treatment. So the treatment for POTS, one of them is, well, I forget what they call it. My brain's like farting on me now, but yeah, it was a lot of physical work, but when you have fatigue, that's really difficult to do. So I've tried it several times, but I couldn't do it. Though, did I mention that I spent most of my day in bed? Yeah, so getting up and trying, but I physically couldn't handle it. Jeez, I was on so many different meds trying to take care of this Lyme. Something that vividly sticks with me is I had to get shots. My antibiotics was shot in my leg, or I am intramuscular, I think. So it's like a flu shot, but like 4 times the liquid every day. It's supposed to be every day, but I couldn't handle it. My arm muscles are too small, like the big arm muscles you can get. So I don't know. I think there's like technically like 6 places that you can get it. So like your buttocks, your gluteus maximus, I think was the official whatever, and then your arms and your thighs. My arms couldn't handle it. They're too small. They couldn't handle that much fluid, that much whatever. And so I'd always get it in my right thigh because my left couldn't handle it as well as my right could. But I had knots in my leg for months afterwards just because it was like supposed to be every day. I couldn't handle it every day. That was awful. It's really tough. Constantly being told by doctors that you're making it up. It's in your head. You just need to get out more. Maybe you have depression, anxiety. Yes, I have depression and anxiety. I'm sick and it feels like I'm dying, and everything that I knew has just been ripped out from under my feet and I don't know why. Yes, I have depression and anxiety. 2017 rolls around. Fall of 2017 rolls around. And I was like, okay, Mom, I want to try cyber school. And she's like, okay. So she works on getting me enrolled in cyber, and I still couldn't do it. Brain fog, the fatigue. I was I'm an insomniac at that point. So the cyber that I was enrolled in is like real school, in that you have specific times you need to get to specific classes and homework and tests and all that stuff, which I'm pretty sure you probably already figured, but every cyber school is different. And I couldn't, and I kept getting in trouble, of course, for not making it to class. Or I would try, I got eventually asynchronous, so I didn't have to log in at the specific times, but I definitely needed to watch the recordings of the class, which with fatigue and brain fog is really difficult. So when I turned 17, I officially dropped out of high school, and that was not an easy decision. Honestly, I feel like such a failure. I'm almost 20 years old, and I'm not where I want to be. Yeah, alright. So trigger warning for weight loss. I struggled a lot with nausea, loss of appetite and nausea. When those two hit, it's bad. Like, okay, here's your specific trigger warning for that. in 2018, I was down to 105 pounds. That's not healthy. That's not good. That's not good. And then in the fall of the same year, so like October, November of 2018, I started taking CBD, which seemed to really, really help. It helped a lot, and I'm functioning a lot better now than I used to. I still have a lot of brain fog and a lot of fatigue. Yeah, that's been the last like 4 years, 5 years of my life. I lost a lot of time, I lost a lot of years. So my camera died, so the rest of this is not going to be as good probably. That's been my life so far. Hopefully something good and exciting happens soon. That, I don't know. I'm making this channel with and like just like jumping in because my life is, I don't do a lot. So I don't know, I'll have to figure out something interesting to do with it. So I'm at least sharing my story. Nothing else. Yeah, that's my story. That's my life. I don't know, I guess if you relate to this or enjoy listening to me ramble on for hours and hours, yeah, if you've, I don't know, enjoyed this, I guess, or are looking forward to seeing how I navigate life post or begin my life as an adult post chronic illness, subscribe, maybe, if you like. Can't tell you what to do, but if you liked, maybe. And of course, if you didn't, please don't be negative. All right, let's go ahead and call this.